Hey guys, Godfather of Anxiety here. Just got back from the gym and I wanted to make a short video about dealing with regret. Something that happens when you've been affected by anxiety and depression for years potentially is you will have a lot of regrets. There'll be a lot of things that, whether it comes to the way you were with your children, whether it's the way you interacted with your spouse or your partner, there's going to be regrets, right? And I've made a whole video about it, but these anxiety spectrum conditions, they tend to be very selfish conditions. Again, not intentionally. It's not like people with these disorders are any more selfish than anyone else. But the problem is that the condition itself makes us think about ourselves all the time, whether it's health anxiety, whether it's intrusive thoughts, whether it's racing thoughts, whether it's catastrophizing. All of these things, they have to do specifically with ourselves, right? And even some of the worry that we do for other people doesn't manifest itself in the right way when we're affected by anxiety spectrum conditions, because we're not, how you would normally interact if you were worried. How you would normally interact if you were worried would be you would do something about it. You would try to take action. But that's not really what happens when you have anxiety spectrum conditions. You feel powerless, and then the condition makes you feel more powerless. And all of this adds up to having a lot of damage done to relationships that you have, whether it be people in your house, whether it be, people in your family, whether it be work. Your relationships are dramatically affected by these conditions, especially if they're untreated. And, even as you start to recover, in fact, when you start to recover is when you're going to start having the regret. Okay. I'm going to tell you guys that, because when you're in it, you're not seeing far enough out to even have regret. And the clinical depression, it's not about regret at that point. You're a zombie. You're emotionally dead. You're not thinking about regrets. You're just thinking about, the abyss of emptiness that you're lost in. So as you start to recover, though, then you're going to look and there's going to be regrets. I promise you. But don't get stuck on them. Unless you have found the magical rewind button that all of us have searched for, there is nothing productive to be gained by looking back with regrets. So what you want to do, if there's fences to mend, mend them. If you need to talk to your partner, your wife, your husband, your children, your parents, whoever it is, about, apologize to them for the way that you were during your illness when it was untreated. Go ahead and do that. They love you. They'll forgive you, and they'll also understand that it was because of a condition and not because you didn't care about them or you just gave up on life in general. Regret is something that can keep you, why I made this video and why I'm making this video, this is really short, is it can get it can keep you stuck and keep you from moving forward. And you don't want to be in that situation. Life is meant to be lived and to be, we've already gone through this terrible thing where we're paralyzed with fear, right? So we're living in a prison when we're not treated. But then when we recover, don't put yourself in that prison of regret. What you have to do is you have to just forget about the things you didn't do that you should have, the things you did that you shouldn't have. You have to forget about them. You have ask for forgiveness if you have to. Obviously, if you have a belief in a higher power, reconcile those things with him as well. But then you have to move on. You have to move on. You can't be stuck in regret, because you won't move forward. You won't get anything accomplished. And once you start to recover, you're going to be capable of almost anything. Anything you put your mind to. In general, people with these anxiety spectrum conditions are incredibly intelligent and creative. And, we care. So, we have that going for us as well. So, to be paralyzed by regret about something that you only had a little control over, right? Like, it's not like you're absolved of your actions when you have an anxiety spectrum condition, but you're not in control like somebody who doesn't have one. If you look at somebody who's clinically depressed, routinely people who get clinically depressed will quit their jobs. They'll leave their families. They're not acting like themselves. I know that if you just even look at a picture of me from when I was untreated, it will be painfully obvious that I was not engaged in any meaningful way with life. You can see it in my eyes. You can see it with the condition of my body. You can even see it with, my haircuts and my upkeep, because that's how clinical depression is. Am I proud of having to take 6 years to get these things treated? No, but it's not like I sat around for 6 years. At first, I tried to find a physical cause. Then I went and I did try working with a psychiatrist. It went horribly. The guy was not in it for the right reasons. And he treated me like a guinea pig with medication. And that can get you in a lot of trouble. It set me back. And, so it's not like I was just dilly-dallying and just, not trying to get better. I was. But, it's still, when I look back on that, it's hard not to have regret, and to waste, prime years, right? You don't get your 30s back. I had my first panic attack when I was 31, and I didn't really, fix things all the way until I was probably 38. So, that's a lot of prime years that I gave up. Now, I can hang my head and say, well, yeah, I didn't accomplish anything during that time that was meaningful. I damaged relationships. I damaged my body. I may have taken years off my life by getting so heavy. I can do that. And it does no good at all. It's not going to help right now. It's not going to help tomorrow. Control what you can control. You have to tell yourself this. If you've suffered from these conditions and you're recovering, remind yourself, control what you can control. People say it all the time. Saying that is so easy, right? But doing it is another thing entirely. Take action. And don't like I said, if you have to make amends, make amends. But once you do, move on. Move on. Leave regret in the past. It does no good. It literally serves no purpose except to keep you stuck and to keep you from moving forward and to keep you from accomplishing things. You don't want that to damage your relationships now, right? Now, once you start recovering, those relationships can recover completely. Don't get it twisted. My wife is a saint. She is, an incredible human being. But we worked through everything. If you are in a relationship where there's love, any mistakes you've made, will be forgiven. And, as far as fixing things like, maybe damage that you've done to your health or maybe your reputation, we just go ahead and look at society. If it's a what have you done for me lately society that we live in. If you start today doing everything you can, controlling what you can control, working towards your goals, people aren't going to remember when you were, you know, a shell of yourself. They're going to, and if they do, they're going to be like, wow, look what he accomplished. Look what she accomplished. You know, people love to see people rise up from, you know, I've told you guys before, people love underdogs. If you want to think of yourself as an underdog to give you motivation, go ahead and do it. You know, you have been dealt a difficult hand with anxiety spectrum conditions, but guys, you can do it. So I just wanted to make this video. I didn't want it to be long at all. If you're dealing with regrets, again, if you need to make amends, but then guys, move on. Show the people that maybe you let down how you really feel by your actions from here on out. And, you know, and show yourself. Prove to yourself who you can be, what you can accomplish. It'll make you feel so good. And that'll put anxiety and depression, it'll put it in the past. Yes, you'll still have to deal with flare-ups, but it's not going to run your life and it's not going to control you. So anyways, I just wanted to make this short video. Guys, thanks so much for the engagement with the channel. It's been great. I hope everybody is, you know, staying warm. It's been, you know, of course they forecasted a mild winter. I will never listen to that again because it's been either sub-zero or snowing here in the Northeast and upstate New York. So thanks so much, guys. Until my next video, take care.